What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me right here at my YouTube channel. This is where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we'd love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, I want to talk about Mortal Kombat, the movie. That's right, the new movie that just came out on HBO Max and in a theater near you, Mortal Kombat. So this is the reboot of the franchise that started with the video games back in the 90s, and then you had the movie in 1995, and then you had, which was cheesy but fun. I just rewatched it, and it still has a lot of the charm that I found in it when I was a 14-year-old watching it in the theaters. Mortal Kombat Annihilation came next, and Mortal Kombat Annihilation was trash. It was so bad, and I recently rewatched that, and that one did not age well at all. And then you had, recently, they put out the animated movie, Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge. That was pretty decent. So what did I think of this one? Well, quite frankly, it was a very mixed bag for me. Very mixed bag. So, as a Mortal Kombat fan, I played the original video game when there was a such thing as arcades. I know a lot of people now don't realize, but there used to be arcades. People would go to the arcades with quarters, and they would put the quarters into the machine, and they would play the video game. I went to arcades and played Mortal Kombat. I'd play Mortal Kombat, I'd play the X-Men game, I'd play Turtles in Time, the Turtles arcade game. I would play these video games non-stop. I loved them, and Mortal Kombat was one of them that I constantly went to. Eventually, I got it on the Super Nintendo. Of course, it was great, even though it was bloodless. It was great, and I've played every Mortal Kombat game since. And as somebody who is a huge fan of the franchise, I was very much let down in this movie because there's no tournament. It's a movie about a tournament called Mortal Kombat, but we never get to the tournament. This is like a prequel to what we actually wanted to see. We wanted to see the tournament. And this is about what happens before the tournament. And oh, by the way, a lot of the big fighters who are supposed to fight in this tournament, they die in this movie. So they're never going to fight in the tournament anyways. I don't know. I had a real problem with the structure of this, being a Mortal Kombat fan. A big problem with it. Because you've got all these characters that are supposed to fight in the tournament. Goro is supposed to fight in the tournament. Cabal, Kano, Kung Lao. These guys are supposed to fight in this tournament, but then we're put in a situation where they may not actually make it to the tournament. And I just, like I said, I had a pretty big problem with that. So yeah, the story structure was just completely unsatisfying as a Mortal Kombat fan. The acting was atrocious. Sonya Blade was especially bad, but there was a lot of really bad acting in this. And I don't know if it's because they hired stunt people, or if it's because some of the people they hired were international people and acting in an English movie. Maybe there was some translation that was lost. I don't know what the case may be, but a lot of it fell really flat and was really stale. There was some exceptions to that. Kano was an exception to that. The guy that played Scorpion, wonderful. The guy that played Sub-Zero, wonderful. But there was a lot of just moments that fell flat that should have been really big moments, and that could be attributed directly to the fact that the acting was not good. All right, so I'm beating this up. I'm beating this up right now. So, did I like the movie? Yeah, I liked the movie. And I know that that's weird because I'm sitting here beating the movie up. The acting was horrible. The storyline was crap. Well, why did I like it then? Well, the fight scenes were pretty wonderful. The special effects were pretty wonderful. In a lot of ways, they really caught the essence of what I wanted to see in a Mortal Kombat movie. Violent, gory fights with excellent fatalities, a lot of Easter eggs to the video games. This was all done. You could tell that this was made by fans. The problem was that it was made by fans who didn't understand the main component that we wanted to see a tournament. Basically, this was Shang Tsung getting his fighters to kill the Raiden's champions before the tournament even starts. That's supposed to be expressly forbidden before the tournament. And it just wasn't. So because of that, it just, I don't know. I had problems with it, but the stuff that was good was great. The special effects, the gore, the fights, all this was great. Kano was great. I gotta talk about Kano. Kano was such a great character in this movie. When he was on screen, it was fire. Everything was working. Everything was running on all cylinders. When he was on screen, it was great. And he elevated everybody around him. Like his scenes with Sonya, he made them better. He made her better because he was killing it. He was doing such a good job with what he was given. But unfortunately, unless you're just a hardcore Mortal Kombat fan who's just wanting to see some good fights, wanting to see some character, and some of the character designs are pretty wonderful. I thought Cabal was wonderful, was wonderfully designed, and just as a character, he was great. Some of the characters were just wonderful. The Scorpion and Sub-Zero especially, they were kind of the heart of their conflict, was kind of the heart of the movie, and I just felt that conflict between them just really made the movie shine. Cole Young fell flat. He was not an interesting character, and that's a huge problem when your lead is one of the was one of the least interesting characters in the movie. That's a major problem. Shang Tsung and Raiden, neither one of them felt imposing. Raiden just felt like an annoyed dad, and I didn't buy him as this thunder god. And Shang Tsung, he was played by the Squealer from The Dark Knight, and I just did not buy him as this imposing evil sorcerer. Even when he's sucking somebody's soul, I did not buy him as that. Jax was good. Jax was he was one of my favorite characters. Kung Lao was real in his limited screen time. Kung Lao was pretty great. Liu Kang fell really flat for me. Liu Kang is supposed to be like the lead in Mortal Kombat. He's supposed to be the lead. He is the champion. He's the champion of the Temple of Light, and he was given a very bit supporting role in this movie without much to do. So that was a big bummer as well. It was a really mixed bag, guys. It was a really mixed bag. The Scorpion Sub-Zero fight was wonderful. The music was pretty great. I just felt, I don't know how to review this because it's just so all over the place. Because of that, I'm going to give this movie just a C. All right, it gets a C. So what it does good, it does great. What it does bad is really bad. So I don't know how else to review this movie other than just say it's a C. And if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, I think you'll have some enjoyment out of this. But if you're not, I don't know that there's going to be much here for you. So that's kind of my take on it. What did you think of the new Mortal Kombat? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your take on it. While you're down there, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out a lot of content, and I want to make sure that you're up to date with everything that I'm doing. And as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the LQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we'd love to talk about. And until next time, we'll see you later.